beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza here at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. Today, I am dedicating this episode to Podcaston, which is a nonprofit organization that brings awareness to other nonprofit places and things. So I am dedicating my podcast today to the San Diego Animal Shelter. I had a whole list of places to choose from, and I chose this one. I was just called to choose this one and go with this one. So I'm going to put their link in the notes in case anybody here is wanting to participate and help. Okay, so because I have chosen the animal shelter, I would like to dedicate this episode to the animals, and I'm going to talk about the animals, communicating with animals, and how to help them. If you want to become an animal communicator, I'll help you with that as well, or I'll talk about that in this episode. If you are wanting to communicate with a pet who has crossed over, we'll talk about this too. And if you don't have a pet, but you just want to help others with pets, then this is the episode for you. All about pets. Here it is today. All right. So let's start with if you don't have a pet. Okay. Why? Because this podcast is going to everybody. If you do not have a pet, but you love animals, there is some type of connection calling you to them. Okay, and there is a purpose and reason for it. Nothing is random. Okay, so if you don't have a pet, let's say because you're busy, you're working all the time, or you just have too much on your hands, or you just feel or think that you just don't like animals, you just don't want to take care of them, you don't have that type of want, but they're always in your space, and when you see them you just feel called to go to them and pet them. That is a clue for you that there's something there for you. You have this type of ability to communicate. Now if you are just completely off, I don't like any animals, don't want to go to the zoo, I don't like seeing animals anywhere, I just don't want to be around them at all, they're just kind of like a cute thing over there, then this episode is not for you. But for everyone else, even if you don't have your own pet, this is for you. Now, if you do have a pet, or if you did have a pet when you were younger, um, you know the way that they communicate with you. You know that when you tune into your pet, that you just know the little subtle movements, looks, the way that they move or look at you, or when they turn around or when they go away, that you know what they're trying to say. You know what they're saying. If my dog lays down and I lay down next to him to pet him, and he does not want to be petted, he'll just get up and he'll give me this special look where he kind of like lifts his chin a little bit, like, that's not exactly what I was doing here. I was fine by myself, and he'll move away. And I know what that means. If you're not attuned to your pet as much, then you might want to continue and continue to bother the animal, the pet, until they just like leave. This is what happens with kids, right? So you might be very attuned to your animal, your pet, and then you may have kids, or you may have kids visiting, and they might want to just pet the baby and the fur baby. And then you'll see that this animal is like moving away, or giving you the clues that you know, but the kids don't know it yet because they're not really communicating at the same level that you are. And so they miss these clues, and then they just continue pestering the poor animal until it goes away, or until it gets mad or hides, or whatever way that your pet will respond to that. That's the difference, right? The difference is that you know when you're attuned to your pet what it is that they need and want, and how they're feeling, and you know when they're not feeling well, just intuitively. And that is your first clue that there is something more to the way that you can communicate than just your five senses, because it's a knowing, right? It's just a knowing, like you know what they want. They're not speaking to you in English or in Spanish or whatever language you speak. They're speaking to you with a look, with an energy, with the way they move. And to tell you the truth, altogether, it's just their energy. They're speaking to you telepathically, and you might receive it in the way that you notice how they look, which means that you're visual, and you received your messages by seeing and noticing the subtle ways in which they turn. It might be that you kind of like think about it or kind of hear it in your mind in your own voice, and that might mean that you receive your messages auditorially, and or it might be that you just know it. You just know it in your body without knowing how you know it. You just know, right? Like a gut feeling. And that's also telling you how you receive your messages, right? So everything is a clue. When we're communicating with animals, because they don't speak the same language that we speak universally with people, wherever it is that we might be, they're speaking through the energy. Is more than telepathy. It is a sense of what the energy feels, connecting and aligning with your energy so that you feel it in your energy how they feel. So it's a type of energy that communicates with you through the energy, the parts that you do not see, right? We are all energy, and our energy extends up to 6 feet all around. Like imagine a sphere all around us, and that's how far our energy extends, everybody's. And this is why when you enter a room and there's like somebody having a fight or somebody upset, you just feel that as soon as you walk in without talking to them, without looking at them. You just feel that energy, the dropped energy of whomever is having that fight or is upset about something. You feel it as soon as you walk in before anyone says anything to you or explains it, right? That's because their energy is 6 feet out and your energy is 6 feet out. So when that meets 12 feet in between, that's when it hits you and you feel it. And that's a way of receiving the message through the energy that you are. So with animals, we receive their messages or what they want to talk to us through their energy field. And when we are attuned to them, we are matching their frequency. Now, animals have a very high frequency. They're not jealous. Well, some of them are. They're not. They don't have the same emotions and feelings that we humans do. So they're really going at a high frequency, and we are attuning to their same frequency to communicate. If you're like really happy and really joyous and excited about something, you're going to communicate with the animals so much easier than if you are in a place of gloom and gloom. If something happened at work or at home and you're feeling sad, or if you're angry or jealous about something and you see your animal, you might miss what they have to say because you're not aligned, you're not vibrating at the same frequency. So they're speaking to you through the frequency just by being, and you're matching their frequency because they're not going to lower their frequency for you. You're going to have to match the frequency and get up to their level to be able to communicate and receive from them, right? They're always going to be there sending you their energy and the messages, but you have to be at a high frequency in order to be communicating. This is why, guys, if you do have an animal who's, let's say, older or ill, and you want to ask, like, what's wrong with you? What do you need? Like, what's hurting? And we don't hear anything, or we don't know it, and we get frustrated, especially if you're intuitive already, or you're doing this type of works, you're doing the inner work, and you don't hear it, you don't know what it is. It's because you're feeling sad or worried about the animal, so your frequency is lower. And so you're not able to receive the answer, the what he's saying or she's saying to you, because you are at a different frequency. It's like turning the radio dial to a different frequency, and you're not listening to the same thing to what the animal is telling you, right? So if you do want to communicate, you must rise up to the frequency that the animal is vibrating at, and then you'll be able to communicate receive the communication from the animal, is what I should say, because you're always communicating with them. They can always know and feel and sense what it is that you're feeling, because they're already up there and they can feel you, but they're not going to come down to match a lower frequency in order for you to understand that you must come up. So if your animal is ill or old and you're worried about them, you first need to connect through the heart space, the part of like loving them and feeling joyous, thinking about all the great things about this pet, or maybe what the pet used to do, and feeling that love and joy. And that's what's going to bring your frequency higher, and then you'll be able to receive that message. So that's a really great clue. And by the way, I'm channeling it now because I was not sure about like, what am I going to talk about? I knew it was going to be about animals, but like this, I'm just like channeling. Like I did not know this information till now. So here you go. Anyway, so that's how you'll be able to receive back the information. Now they're showing me how to communicate with a lost pet, someone who has crossed over. Ooh, we can also do a lost pet, like a live pet that got lost. But we're going to go first with someone, a pet who has crossed over, and you want to know how they are. First of all, what they're saying is that they're mostly going to come to you in your dreams first, especially if you're not open to communicating with with a soul or a person or an animal that has crossed over. If you're like kind of like uneasy about it or a little bit uncomfortable about that type of communication, they will come to you in your dreams. Afterwards, they may come to you in the space. You may see them, hear them, smell them. You might think about them, and there they are. And by the way, that's the way it works in mediumship. You just think about the animal, and the animal is right there with you, hearing you, listening to you. I'm just looking at my dog over here who's like, I don't know, making some noises. He wants to be part of the podcast. Did you hear that shaking? Okay, sorry. So if you have a pet who has crossed over and you would like to communicate with them, make sure that they're okay, which by the way, they always are. As soon as you think about them, they're there. And the first thought that you have, or the first memory that you have, is them sending you that message, that memory, that vision, so that you can remember them that way. Most of the time, it's not going to be their last moments. It's going to be something like when you took care of them or when you were playing with them. And they're going to show you specific moments of things that you know that they used to like. So I'll give you an example. My dog Francesca, which I wrote a book, Francesca and the Avocado, a children's book. When she crossed over, she always had like belly aches. We changed her foods many times. We were like always taking care of her and like trying to figure out what's best for her. And when it was her time to cross over, she did. And I had this dream that I was in the kitchen just cooking, and she comes over running after me, and I saw her and I was like, Francesca, um you look so great. And then I took this giant bone that I had in the dream and I gave it to her, like a giant bone, like the Flintstones type of bone. And I gave it to her and I said, here you go, now you can have anything you want. And that was such a specific message that I was saying this and communicating this to my dog Francesca in that dream, because I knew that in this 3D life, she couldn't have anything that she wanted, because any type of table food or different food that we would give her a bellyache, and then she would be sick. So in the dream, I knew she was okay, and she jumped up, she grabbed it, and then she ran off. I remember I said in my dream I was in the kitchen, and behind, when I turned around, the wall of my kitchen turned into like this beautiful park full of trees, and she just ran with this bone all the way through the trees, and then turned around and looked at me and then kept going. And I knew that that was her coming to tell me that she was okay, because she was sick when she got ill and she crossed over. So she was telling me that she was fine, that she was great, and she came to me in my dreams. This was like many years ago, about 15 years now, that she crossed. Maybe it was a little bit less. Anyway, and she came to tell me that I was not doing this work. I was not as aware as I am now. I always liked and believed in mediumship and speaking to souls that crossed over, but I was not doing this work. But so back then, that's how she came to me. Does that make sense? Then when my second dog crossed over, Scarlet, I was already doing this work. I was already aware. So when she crossed over, I immediately saw her in the woods. Again, like this is like in the moment that she was crossing over, I saw her in the woods just looking at me. And, like I saw she was out of her body and in there, free and perfect and beautiful. And she actually looked younger and really full of life because she was old. She was about 15 or 16 years old when she crossed. And so she was older and she had a lot of gray hairs all over and she was walking slowly. And she showed herself to me as a vibrant younger dog in the woods and like just saying goodbye. And I saw her and I was aware of it and I felt it and I just knew she was fine. But I'm sharing those two stories because the first one, I was not as aware as I am now. So the first dog came to me in my dreams, a way that I would understand it and accept it and not be scared about or confused. And then the second one, because I was already doing this work and I was already becoming aware and I was already working with mediumship, she showed herself up in a way that, was really easy for me to see and understand and accept without the fear. They will show themselves to you in a way that you will understand so that you know for sure that it's them, that it's not just a dream, and that they're coming to share the message and let you know that they're okay and that they're still with you whenever you think about them. Okay. The other thing I wanted to share about that with animals is if the animal gets lost, you can tune into their energy, excuse me, and ask where they are. Show me where you are, right? And then you might see, if you're visual, you're going to see places or you're going to see colors. So you might see something that is just dark and you're like, I don't know where it is. It just looks dark. Maybe it's like a ditch or something, right? But once you see something, then you're able to put it together. Like, where would the animal be going or what could have happened? And then you can start putting things together and using your intuition by asking your animal to let you know where they are so you can find them. Uh, if you don't see anything, it's fine. It just means you don't receive the messages that way or the information that way. So maybe you actually hear it, right? You might hear something, for example, like I don't know, the ocean waves. And you're like, why am I hearing that? I live far away from the ocean. And maybe it's something that sounds like the ocean, and then you can put it together. Oh, it's in that direction. Or maybe you are by the ocean. And then you're like, oh, the dog or the cat might have gone in that direction, right? And then you can go where you feel called for that and then find it. It's really important that you don't doubt yourself, that you trust whatever it is that you're receiving, even if it doesn't show up later. Like, let's say I feel that it's behind the shed and I go there and I don't find the animal, right? It's important that you don't doubt yourself. You just continue to communicate and continue just saying, speaking out, like out loud, talking about what you're feeling, seeing, or receiving in whichever way you're receiving it, because it's always right. And sometimes we're like, well, I saw, or the animal told me that it was behind the shed, and I went there and it wasn't. Maybe it was there, or that's where it went out. It went out through that space, right? So maybe it's giving you clues. Maybe you're picking up certain parts of it, but not the exact location at that moment. So just trust what you're receiving and then keep practicing. That's one of the things that you have to do is practice, 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 practice. If you're working on like what's wrong with the dog or the cat or the horse or the duck or whatever it is you have, let's say they're ill, you can tune into the animal's body. First, you always ask, is it okay if I scan you, if I check you out energetically? Then you'll get a yes or a no in your mind. It's the first thing you get, not what you start thinking like, what did they say? What did they say? If you get into your head like that, then that's not the answer. That's you thinking or trying to hear answer that you want. So it's the first thing that comes into your mind, the first thing. And you're going to be like, okay, what's wrong? Can I scan you? And then you can imagine seeing the animal's body in light, divine light, and then just watch. You might see parts of the body in a different color. I usually see it in red if there's inflammation. Sometimes I see darkness or black area, like it's blocked through, like I can't see through it. Like I don't know what's there. Um, but it's in a specific place. Like I can see the whole body, and then a specific part of the body will be blocked. Like, okay, there's something here, but it's not letting me know what it is. So just trust what you're getting and then see if that makes sense. Like you can guide, if you're taking your animal to the vet, you can tell the vet, check this area that I saw that was different. You can also send healing energy, and this is good for people and for animals, and it's very easy, guys. All you need is your intention and the direction of your energy. So, as I said before, we are all energy, right? All of us, it's all energy. And you can harvest your energy through your hands, right? They're like magnets. You can just rub them like this and then like close them together a little bit like this. You're going to feel a little bit of energy right in between your hands, like I'm pulling and pushing something, like a little ball. You're going to feel that resistance in between. That is your chi, your life force energy. That's your healing energy, right? And then you can take that energy and you can direct it towards the animal. You can put it towards the animal. In if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, don't worry, because your energy is super intelligent and it just knows where to go. So if your animal is ill and you're scanning it and you see or feel, let's say you see something red, that's inflammation, or something dark, like you don't know what it is, and you kind of know the area, let's say it's a shoulder for an animal, you can rub your hands, harvest that energy. You don't have to do this. I like doing it because it's just fun. But if you've never done it, doing this and feeling it will give you the confirmation that there's actually something there for you. And you're not going to feel like, oh, this is not going to work. It's going to give you more trust in what you're doing. And then you can take your hands and put them in that area of the animal and just give them energy. And because you love the animal, you're going to be working through their heart space, right? You're going to be sending them love. You're just going to imagine you're sending them love, and you're going to put your hands there. Your energy is super intelligent. It's going to go into the animal's body, and it's going to go around, and it's going to concentrate wherever it is that the animal needs the energy. So you might have seen a space, let's say in the shoulder, and you might be putting or trying to put your hands by the shoulder of the animal, and the problem might be in the front side, and that's where the energy is going to go. The energy is going to go where it needs it most, where it's the source of the issue. It's going to go there, and you're just going to send it love, and you're going to allow the energy to do the work. You cannot send too much energy. You cannot hurt the animal or anyone else if you're doing it on humans by sending the energy. The energy will either help or it may do nothing at all. If the animal is like, nope, I don't want it. This is my time to go, and this is the way I'm going to go, and you didn't get that because you're like really close to the animal and you don't want to hear that, then the animal's going to allow the energy to just come and allow it to alleviate any type of pain or discomfort, but it's not going to heal anything because that's not what the animal wants. It's the same thing with people. You can give energy, healing energy to someone, and if they don't want to be healed, they won't. They have to want it. They have to want it because, and here's the key part, because you're not the healer. I'm not the healer. We are just the ones transmitting the energy and giving the intention And then the person or animal themselves are the ones who do the healing. They allow themselves to receive the healing energy, and for the healing energy to do the work. They are the ones who say, yes, this is what I want. I want to be healed, right? That's true for people and for animals. So that's the last part that asking me to share is, don't feel bad if you're giving energy to an animal to help them and they still get sick or sicker, or they don't seem better. It's not you. It's not that it didn't work. It's not that you did something wrong or you didn't know how to do it. It's that that's just not what they wanted. Okay? So that's something that's kind of hard to accept sometimes, but we all decide what we want to expand on and experience every time. All of us, including our animals. Our animals come here to help us and to support us, and when it's time for them to go, they do. And most of the times they go at a time when they feel, you're going to be okay without me now. Not emotionally, not like in this earth, like I'm not going to miss you, but for whatever it is that they came into your life to help you with, you're going to be okay with. Does that make sense? Let's say, um, let's say you were single and you were really feeling lonely and you really felt like your life maybe didn't have much of what you were missing. Like you wanted to give your love to someone, and then this animal came into your life. And then you were able to give your love and all of your attention to this animal, right? And then because you were doing that and you had this place, this animal to do this with, you began to feel better about yourself. You were happier, you were more joyous, and you started to kind of forget that, hey, it's not like I'm alone because I have this beautiful animal, my pet, right? And then maybe you do meet somebody and maybe you don't. But the thing is that you heal that part, that void that you were missing. And you get yourself to a place where you feel really good, either without a partner, because like if that's what you were looking for, you feel really good on your own anyway. And that's the healing job or work that this animal came to do in your life. Or you met somebody and now you feel really good with this person as well, but you feel strong with yourself, right? Then the animal's going to be like, okay, great. And then they can stay with you longer for as long as they decide to do it, but they will leave at a time where their mission here is done. It doesn't have to be like, okay, you found somebody, you feel good, now I'm leaving, like, the pet's gonna die. No, it's they're here to help you with that, and then they're able to leave at whatever time they have chosen to. But they will always do that at the time that is right for them. And it's mostly because you have already healed the thing that they came here to help you heal. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Let me know. Okay. What else do I want to say about the animals here? If you have had a pet and they have crossed over, and you are looking for another pet or you want another one in the future, the one that you just lost will send you the second one. They will send you the specific correct pet for you because they're always looking after you. So they'll figure out who it is and when you need this other person. I call my dogs people because like they look at me like they're people. This other animal, they'll bring that to you. They'll make it happen, and it will be exactly what you needed. And sometimes they will be very much like them, so it will remind you of them. Okay, what else did I want to say about this? If you wanted to work more as an animal communicator, all you have to do is practice. Have the intention and practice. Practice, practice, practice. Say it out loud so you can hear with your own ears in the frequency of your own voice, which has a lot of power, a lot more power than if you're just thinking it or writing it. If you speak it out, it will really land on you. And write things down so that you have some type of reference, because you will get messages in your own unique way. So let's say that, like I was saying before, if I scan an animal and I see a dark space where I can't see through, I know there's something there. I know that's where the discomfort is, but the animal is not showing me what it is, what organ it is, but I know it's in this type of area, right? I can write that down and or so I can remember for next time. And then next time when I scan an animal and they're showing me the same thing, I'm going to refer to the first one. It's like, oh, actually, that was the same thing, or it was the same problem. Let's say it ended up being some type of GI tract thing. I'm like, oh, it must be the same thing. So they're going to show you things repeatedly in the same way for you. So that might be what it means to me, right? Now, let's say you see a place that's like blocked and you can't see through. Um, and it might mean something else for you. The animal's showing it to you that way for you, and it means something else. This is why when you look at like a dream dictionary and you say, "Oh, I dreamt of I don't know, of a bus crashing on a tree," and you look at the meaning of that, and it has like different meanings. It's because different people who have had that dream have written down what it meant for them, according to like more and more times that they can put together like this is what it means like to me. And then when you read through that dictionary, you're reading um the descriptions, and some of them don't make any sense to you or they don't resonate, and then one or two will be like, oh yeah, that makes sense to me, or that it could be that. It's because that is the frequency that resonates with you. So it's the same thing when an animal shows you something, or when you see something, or when you hear or smell or feel something. Is specific to you. And when you write down what you're receiving and then putting it together, like, oh, I received this and then it meant that, then you're creating your own dictionary of how you receive the information. All right, guys. I hope that this helped you. I hope you liked this short podcast about the animals, communicating with animals in all different places. If you have any questions, because I do tend to go off tangents here as the information comes through. You have any questions or you need more clarification on something, just put it in the questions down and I will answer them for you. If you like this podcast, please share with other people. You can subscribe if you liked it, and that's it. Also, don't forget, I'm putting the San Diego Animal Shelter link there. If you want to help donate to them, they do a really great job. If you want to adopt an animal, you're looking for someone, this is in California though, then you can find their information there and you can help. So thank you to Podcaston and all of the information that and the opportunities that they're giving for this. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next time. Bye bye.